Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tilting Ground Untitled Notre Dame USC Football Podcast. I'm USC fan Michael Muto. I'm here with Notre Dame expert Greg Famong. Greg, I have to apologize to you. I didn't get last week's episode up.
You didn't. That's okay.
It's the
That's
first one
okay.
we've ever missed.
Well, we would have explained, except we didn't have the pod. But you were displaced.
I was evacuated in the Southern California wildfires. Everything is fine now.
Yes. Everyone is good.
Greg and I actually did record, but I couldn't figure out how to use the computer where I was. And then when I got back home, the joke was on me because I didn't have the internet.
Fantastic.
So, and then I thought if I put it up on Saturday, it'll be far too confusing with the games coming up. So,
Yeah.
just know that Greg was very happy that Notre Dame won, and I was very sad that USC lost.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, we could all just like run it forward to this week because it's the same thing.
It is pretty much the same podcast. So
I'm happy that Notre Dame won, and you're sad that USC lost.
So, I mean, the first question. Let's start with Notre Dame because we started with Notre Dame last week, and
Okay.
they got the short end of the stick.
Okay.
So the first question is, when will the pinstripes come out again? Because it was a stellar performance.
Hopefully never. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, you really put it to Syracuse.
We did. That's true. We didn't play that great on offense. The thing is like, I made a big deal, and you would have heard about it if we had released the pod from last week. But I made a big deal about the stupidity of taking the home game and putting it in the home state of your opponent while wearing a clown costume. And, people say, well, it didn't matter. They won 36-3. That's besides the point. Just because they wore clown costumes doesn't mean they're going to lose the game. I mean, they were sloppy on offense, Michael.
Right.
That did happen. And
just because it works out doesn't mean you did the right thing.
Yeah. So, the field was okay, I guess. It looked like people were slipping and sliding a little bit. Whatever. The thing is like, I'm kind of afraid that the main takeaway is going to be, oh, see, like, we can just move the game and it doesn't really matter.
This team can do anything.
Right. It's, no big deal. Just play the games where we ask you to play them. But whatever. I wasn't a huge fan of the pinstripes.
Well, it just didn't look like look like Notre Dame.
Yeah, like, there should be some gold involved.
That was the main problem, because when I was watching, I was like, wait, like, I know Syracuse is orange, but I still don't know which team's which. Just like,
that's what Amy said.
It just looks so weird. I don't know. Maybe it was the white pants. It might have been the white pants.
Yeah, it's goofy pinstripes.
It just didn't look right. The helmets were fine. The jersey, like, whatever. It was whatever.
I mean, look, if Notre Dame is going to beat the 12th ranked team by 33 points while giving up 3 points, then
and really, it's like it was a 0 for most of the game.
It was a 0. People are pretty bitter about the last second field goal that they kicked.
Yeah, not cool.
Kind of not cool. Shouldn't have done it.
What do you expect from upstate New York?
That's right, Michael. So it's fine. My team is wonderful. I'm in a happy mood.
Ian Book had kind of a goofy interception.
It was very goofy.
That was one of the things that stuck with me.
Yeah, I was actually, that was the point of the game where I was pretty annoyed, just because I don't like they went forward on 4th and 1 and from the goal line, and he's tripping on the guard and he throws the ball up in the air and it's intercepted for a touchback, which, I mean, is the only thing that you really don't want, because then you lose the advantage of them having the ball at the 1. Ended up not mattering because then Notre Dame got an interception and then scored on the next play. But
was that the safety interception? Or
there were 3 safety interceptions, Michael.
I know.
It's just it was raining picks by the safeties. So, ho hum, 11-0, and we're coming up on what it's our week, Michael.
It is. It's rivalry week.
It's our week. The point of this whole pod is for this game coming up, and here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, and it's who knows? Notre Dame's coming to a real fire sale.
I feel like we need to go heavy on your dumpster fire, Michael.
Okay, all right, because Notre Dame's cruising, and I just feel like the Irish fans always get a short shake because, after beating Michigan, it's been kind of a boring season. If truth be told, it's kind of a very boring 11, whatever they are, 11-0.
Michael, please don't take it away. This doesn't happen very often for me. Okay, don't call it boring. Okay, they were very riveting games.
That's true. There's a quarterback controversy.
Exactly.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah, we got our quarterback is setting records for completion percentage, although his 62% completion percentage last week was just an abomination.
Yeah,
and everyone should be ashamed.
Yeah, the whole team should be disappointed.
It's not good, Michael. You know what? I do want to talk about one thing.
Okay.
I don't understand why Notre Dame can't get holding called.
Tirico, I noticed that he even called it out. He's like, "Oh, Jerry Tillery getting held there."
Not called. I mean, there was another one where Aquara comes around the end, and the tackle grabs his shoulder pad, and then he just like rakes his head, like his head is sideways. I mean, it's the most obvious illegal hands to the face you're ever going to see, uncalled. I don't understand.
Well, let me tell you.
I literally don't get it. Like and look, I asked the question on Twitter, and someone said, it's because they're de-emphasizing holding this year to help game flow. Which, okay, I get it, because Notre Dame hadn't been called for holding that much either, so that's fine. But Notre Dame got called for holding like 3 or 4 times in this game, so obviously you're willing to call it,
right?
I don't like our defensive line. Like I don't understand.
And I feel like if it's egregious, you have to call it. Like let's be real.
And it's not even holding. Like it was illegal hands to the face. Like his head is going sideways.
I mean, this has been a problem all season. We talked about it earlier.
Just call penalties, Michael.
When Notre Dame runs into USC, one of the most penalized teams in all of college football, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Something to hang your hat on.
You got to be good at something.
So how did you take in your game, Michael?
Oh, it was rough. So I was at my mom's house.
Okay.
Me and the baby. Actually, at my grandma's house. So yeah. So they were watching. My aunt, who was with me, so she's a big USC fan as well. So it was a rough day for her. I'm going to start at the end because I want everyone to know that when there were 2.5 minutes left and USC had the ball, I firmly believe that they were going to at least tie the game.
Okay.
I was not being a sad sack. I was not making fun of Clay Helton. I was not. I was in it. I was in it. I thought they had all 3 timeouts, which never happens in the second half of USC games. So I thought that was a good omen, and I was Mr. Positive. Now,
okay.
Then the first play they had on that last drive was a good one, a little dump off to the running back for like 20 yards, and then it all went to hell. But prior to that,
you weren't being a negative Nelly.
I was not. I was
okay.
Before the game, my mom asked me how come the baby wasn't in her USC onesie, and I said because we only root for winners. Roll Tide. So
okay.
Maybe it didn't start in the most positive place, but it ended. I had full faith in the USC Trojans, and they just took that from me. I mean, what would have been the crown jewel of the UC Davis recruiting class? John Kelly just ran all over the Trojans. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't. Josh
who
Kelly,
he was?
by the way.
Whatever.
I think his name is Joshua Kelly. It's fine.
I don't care. Yeah, I think John Kelly's on the Rams.
Well, he's also the chief of staff of the United States.
Great point.
What was the faith based on?
I don't know. I just thought that this has been so bad for so long that it just all can't be bad.
I mean,
Obviously it can be, but
right.
it just seemed like this was a moment where, like, it's just they're gonna catch a break here. It's all gonna come together for just 1 second, even though Clay Helton should be fired and everything should be reworked. But right now, this is just the team just comes together. They have good players. All their players are better than UCLA's players objectively, and
That is true. Yes.
it's just like this is it. This is the moment it happens, and it didn't happen. So, I'm just happy that this is 2 weeks in a row that USC hasn't scored a touchdown in the second half. So T. Martin has to be laughing all the way to his next job.
So I was looking at the S&P stuff, the stat profiles. They came out tonight. And the last 2 weeks, the USC offensive percentile performance, which is basically like how well did you play on offense, right? So like how are your runs? How are your passes? How are your receiving? Stuff like that. So obviously the closer to 100 you get, the better, right? Against Cal, they were at 18%.
So that's not good.
It's abysmal. Like, it's really bad. Like 50% is bad. And then against Cal it was 18, and then against UCLA it was 19.
That's even worse because at least Cal has like a pretty good defense.
They do have a good defense.
UCLA has a good nothing.
UCLA has a defense.
They have players.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, so Aka Cedric Ware got hurt, right? Apparently.
Yeah.
His shoulder.
Yeah, I think that was hurt during Cal. If it was a flare up.
Oh.
I think on this is some armchair detective work here. I think it was on the bad snap that led to the safety in Cal. He got blown up pretty good trying to recover the fumble, and I think that's where it happened.
Okay.
Now, he could have already been a little dinged up before that, but I just remember him getting popped trying to recover the fumble.
Well, I believe he didn't come back, right?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
they got LeVay, and then that was basically it.
That was basically it.
At the end. Okay. What's the story with Stephen Carr?
I don't know. He's frail. He's paper mache.
Well, I mean, he probably figures they're not going to give me the ball.
What's the point, right? Yeah, that too. He's not getting any touches. The season's not going well.
Right.
He's already kind of hurt. Like, what's the point of him playing?
Yeah.
Let's just get healthy.
Okay.
Because they're not going to go to a bowl game. So, I mean, the last USC game of the season will be Saturday.
I mean, hopefully.
Just put this dog out of its misery.
Hopefully. I mean, so obviously I didn't get to watch a lot of the game just live just because the two teams are
conflicting. Yes.
Right. We did switch to see that UCLA was up 14-3. It's funny. The first play we saw was the post route to Amon-Ra St. Brown for a touchdown.
Which was a beauty.
I mean, it's a beautiful pass.
And there was a nice little special teams touchdown. I mean,
I saw that. Well, I saw some highlights afterwards. Was it Langley who blocked it, or was it someone else?
No, it was somebody else, and then
who wears 24, right?
Yeah, it was whose name escapes me right at this moment.
Yeah, because the guy said it was Langley, but I was watching. I was like, Isaiah Langley does not look like that.
He's never done anything positive in his tenure at USC.
Okay.
Poor kid. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's fine. Like, we all have people that we pick on, and it's no big deal.
He's just not good. Like, I'm sure
if had a rough go of it.
If Utah, if he was on Kyle Whittingham's team, he'd be great. He'd be like the best corner in the Pac-12. But in the situation he's in now, with just Clancy putting him on an island every week.
Well, even Biggie Marshall got beat for a long touchdown.
Yeah, but I mean, that actually hasn't happened a lot this season. That was more of a last season.
I know. That's the thing, though, when it's like your guy gets beat for a long one.
Yeah, but I think he was sad because everyone got on him for that unsportsmanlike penalty last week.
So let me ask you this. Speaking of unsportsmanlike penalties, Who was the guy? Was it Peely?
Yeah.
So Peely punches a guy.
Mm-hmm.
It was closed fist too.
Yep. It was a punch. It was a real punch.
A punch in the helmet. Maybe not the smartest.
No.
My theory on this sort of thing is when you like people always say like why did you punch him in the helmet? The helmet makes it less serious.
Oh, like you feel like you can really swing away because
yeah, it's like I'm not
really
gonna hurt him. I'm punching his helmet, right?
Yeah,
it's
that
like
makes
I'm
sense.
punching him, but I'm not
like
really punching him.
Yeah,
that's my theory on it.
That's a fair theory,
right? Like you figure if a guy has a helmet on and you throw a punch, like it's just mentally different. And is this like I'm gonna actually punch his face?
Like I'm just mad. I'm attacking. It's gonna be fine. We're all geared up here.
This is like, hey, get off my arm. I'm gonna punch you. Kind of thing. So he just gets unsportsmanlike. Now, obviously, like, so does the Pac-12? Can they retroactively say you're suspended?
I don't know how that works.
I feel like they could.
I mean, probably, but
I feel like I feel like Clay Helton obviously could. He obviously will not.
No, he won't do anything. I mean, come on. Their center can't snap the ball to the quarterback.
It's just
they trot him out there every game.
So I'm reading a lot of the USC stuff on Twitter. Like a ton of USC players were just aghast after the game, like former players.
Right.
Do you think that if given the chance, he could turn it around?
No. I mean, on the season preview, I didn't lead with JT Daniels. I didn't lead with the stellar wide receiving core. I didn't lead with Marvell Tell and Cam Smith coming back. I led with the fact that I think Clay Helton's a loser.
You did.
And that it doesn't matter what the talent pool is. They only luck into wins.
Okay.
So no, he can't turn it around.
Okay. Because, it's the last time Notre Dame football played at the Coliseum, their season and their program was falling apart. We had Jerry Tillery stepping on guys.
That's true.
And brushing their heads with his foot after they have concussions. And there was like a team meeting and like not in the locker room. Like he didn't let them go to the locker room. He yelled at them on the field.
Which is embarrassing.
So it's 4-8, and I was basically in your position.
No, but I don't know if we talked about this on the unaired podcast or the one before. Brian Kelly went to a national title game.
He did.
He was good at Cincinnati.
He was.
Like he has a track record, and it would have made sense to fire him. But he gets another shot. He got another shot, and clearly it worked out because Brian Kelly's a good football coach. Love him or hate him. And Clay Helton is not a good football coach. Love him or hate him.
Well, I mean, the problem for him is like you just have no idea because he hasn't done it. See, that was the thing with Kelly is like, well, he did it at Cincinnati.
Right. I don't even know.
He was.
Yeah.
When he was hired, he was, quote unquote, a good hire.
Right.
And my thing to you at the time was, I mean, I thought he should have been fired. I probably said it on the pod. But my thing is like, who in the coaching pool right now that they could get is a better hire than Brian Kelly was?
And I said that if Notre Dame fires Brian Kelly, USC should hire him immediately.
Well, right, like that's how people felt about it. And it's like, yeah, like I felt like he could succeed somewhere else, but it's like Notre Dame is a different beast. I mean, change of scenery is true. Like that's a real thing that some people need. Of course. Like, yeah. But now, I mean, since then they're 21-3, and they beat some real teams, some real programs. So, I mean, it's funny how like the whole situation has done a 180 because at that time USC was flying high with their quarterback.
Yep.
They had Darnold, and they were like one of the hottest teams in college football. Couldn't be stopped. And now it's just like you.
But even then, I felt like everyone, there were grumblings that this was not a well-coached team.
Right.
This was not, even as high as they were flying, there still was not a lot of faith in their head coach.
Well, I don't know. At the end of 2016, I think people were pretty. It was less about him though, and it was more like, look at this quarterback. I mean, this quarterback's incredible.
That's true.
Like,
let him recruit.
Yeah,
they have stars.
He doesn't have to be like a quote unquote good coach. It's like just look at the players. And then when 2017, they pretty clearly underachieved.
Yeah.
And I mean, they lost by 35 to Notre Dame. I mean, you lose by 35 to any team. It's like that's a big problem. So, especially with that quarterback.
Still won a Pac-12 title.
Still won the Pac-12 title.
Which is wild. Now they don't even go to a bowl game.
It's crazy too because they're 5-6, and I mean this has to be one of the weaker schedules they've ever played.
Oh, it's a down year for the Pac-12.
Yeah, I mean to not win the Pac-12 South this year, it's like impossible. Yeah. It's impossible.
I mean, Arizona's not good this year. UCLA's not good. Arizona State's weird. Cal's a weird team. Stanford's 6-4 now. Yeah, this is
strange.
I guess Texas is kind of good.
They're okay, but they have 3 losses now.
Yeah.
Did they beat Iowa State?
Who, Texas?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So they have 3 or 4. I don't know. I think they won.
I think the Iowa State coach is on the short list for.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
For people the USC Trojan fans want.
He's a good coach. That's the thing, man.
Also missed on the unaired podcast was I still have a 33% feeling that Clay Helton comes back next year.
Well, the only way it happens if they beat Notre Dame.
No, even if they lose, I said there's a piece of me that thinks he could still come back.
I mean, I guess it just kind of comes down to who Lynn Swann thinks he could get.
You would assume anyone. Also, I don't want James Franklin. Can we just get that out of the way right now?
I kind of do want you to get James Franklin
because he's a clown.
He is a clown. That's why I want you to get him.
Yeah, he's like an intense Clay Helton.
Like, dude, he couldn't handle a fan yelling at him.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna be cool with,
I know.
Fans out here.
Also, he couldn't beat Clay Helton head to head. So
he cannot. With Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Man. Well,
anyways,
I just don't know. Like it just from their point of view. I don't know how Lynn Swann feels about it. I know everyone thinks he's terrible.
But everyone thinks Lynn Swann's terrible too.
Right. Ryan Abraham is like you need to change like everything.
Well, they don't have a president at the moment.
Oh, that's true.
Like this is a school in turmoil.
USC. Oh, that's true. They don't have one.
They don't have a president. The AD doesn't care, and everyone loves Clay Helton in general. So, ugh.
The former player situation at AD isn't really working out.
No. Well, Mike Garrett was okay, right? He got Pete Carroll in the door.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, you don't go Pat Hayden.
Oh,
I mean, Mike Garrett, like, congratulations. You wanted, like, 4 other guys before you got Pete Carroll. They wanted Mike Riley, didn't they?
Yeah.
Jeez. So
allegedly, no, I don't believe this for 1 second.
Okay.
But this was on the Willie McGinnis Football Life. Willie McGinnis was a supporter of Pete Carroll becoming the USC Trojans coach. And I feel like that is the biggest piece of revisionist history that's ever been told.
No one was a supporter.
Right.
I distinctly remember reading in the paper like they made a huge mistake.
Pete who?
Yeah. And no one wanted him. No one was happy.
Because Willie McGinnis knew him from New England because he was the old New England head coach.
Why would he be a supporter?
I don't know. They were terrible. Yeah,
right.
they were terrible, bad. But they weren't good. I think, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way he thought that.
Yep.
No. Yeah, he was definitely their fourth or fifth choice.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, I wonder who's going to be their fourth or fifth choice still for the summer.
Well, did you see the piece Plaschke wrote?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it was basically like
we need an outsider. I saw.
Yeah, we need an outsider. Twitter. Yeah, so he was kind of. I think he might have mentioned Matt Campbell or someone else did, but I think maybe it was one of the USC beat guys who was kind of like.
I think it's Matt Campbell, James Franklin. There was one.
Whittingham.
Oh yeah, Whittingham.
Whittingham, yeah.
The Colorado coach is available.
Les Miles is not. What a bummer.
Yeah.
I wonder if Whittingham could work out.
He wouldn't leave, right?
I wouldn't.
Because what's the point, right? Like it's a no-win.
Right. Unless he's like, I want to win national title. Can't at Utah.
I'd like to have a top 5 recruiting class every year.
How much does he love? Like, does he love to recruit?
Well, I mean, how much? Honestly, I don't think you have to do that much recruiting when you're the USC. I know it sounds like super bold, like okay, USC fan, but like, Lane Kiffin in top 5 classes, Clay Helton in top 5 classes.
I know, but Lane Kiffin is like loved recruiting, and Clay Helton, he's got T. Martin there.
Yeah.
Like, so, could you see T. Martin like coaching for Kyle Whittingham?
No.
And also, like,
I mean, maybe just to stick it in Clay Helton's face.
I mean, not to say, like, I don't want to say like USC runs a dirty program, but they run like an above board dirty program, for a better way to put it.
Go on.
Well, it's like, it's standard dirty. Right, so it's like I don't really
like bad graduation rates. They kind of squeeze guys in.
Yeah, like you're not really going to class, and it's like you kind of have to be okay with that sort of thing. I don't think that Utah, they're not
what happens over there.
Yeah, it's not like they're really pushing for Rhodes Scholars or anything like that. But there's some shadiness that I think that USC kind of dabbles in. That Kyle Whittingham needs to be okay with.
Our friends at Raina Troy had a nice little article before the loss about the attrition rate at USC of top flight recruits, and it was kind of interesting. It was you don't know how people are going to pan out and stuff, but like it was a pretty good recruiting class that was put together of people that have left. Except for running back. That was the one hole. The running backs apparently don't leave. For different reasons, right? Like some guys had some legal trouble and they should be gone.
Right.
Other guys just transferred like all the safeties over the summer. But
that's weird. That's a weird thing.
I don't know.
That kind of comes with it, right? You get a bunch of 5 stars. I mean,
people want to play.
Maybe
people know their coach is a loser. And it's like, this isn't worth it. I also don't like, by the way, the Jack Sears support. Like, famously, I was a Jack Sears supporter last year, and everyone's, if Jack Sears started, this would be completely different. It's like I don't know if I believe that. I think it's a little unfair. He still lost. He lost his one start. I mean, he didn't even win.
He lost his one start in which they returned a punt for a touchdown and a receiver threw a touchdown pass.
Yes.
So, I mean,
he got some help.
Yeah, like I don't remember that happening. Tyler Vaughn didn't throw any touchdowns last week.
And T. Martin was calling plays, by the way.
Oh my
When
goodness.
Jack Sears was running around out there.
Michael, that is a fact.
I'm just, I just feel like another person who got a raw deal is T. Martin.
He didn't get a good deal.
Because it's a football program. It's from the top down. And if Clay Helton didn't like the plays T. Martin was calling, he could have stopped it at any time. At any time.
Well, not just that, but like he fired the offensive line coach too.
Yeah, his buddy.
I don't understand that. That is weird to me, and I'll tell you why it's weird. It's one thing if you like. It's one thing to fire. It's one thing to fire like a coordinator mid-season, because it's like that person is coordinating, right? So like they're
in charge of a lot. They have a lot of responsibilities.
Exactly. It's the line coach. Like, if you don't like how that's going, like, why don't you just take over and let him keep his job? Like, you need someone to do it.
Yeah, someone's got to do it. Like
you need to be in charge of it.
And I can't imagine that the USC blocking schemes are so complex that Neil Callaway couldn't figure it out. Like,
yeah, like what is firing him gonna do?
Yeah,
except to make him a scapegoat.
And it probably makes the O-line worse because now who's coaching them?
Right.
Like some guy who's got two position groups. It's like
Or you got like a GA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that's weird to me. It's one thing to, like I said, it's one thing to fire a coordinator. It's like we can't have you calling, like when they fired Brian Van Gorder in the middle. It's like we can't have you calling the defense.
You're actively ruining this.
Yeah, like
what's happening on the field.
Yes, you are in charge of it, and you need to not be. You need to go away.
It's not like the O-line coach is calling blocking schemes and like some other guys calling.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything to do with it. Like the plays are the plays, and maybe he didn't do a good job during the week or whatever. But it's like you're 8 weeks into the season now.
Yeah,
I mean, what's going to get fixed? Like that's a situation where the coach, Clay Helton, needs to be the one to take responsibility for it.
The O-line looked bad for like 3 years, so
right.
I don't know why they have to fix it now.
Clay Helton, man,
he's just not a winner.
It's not that he's not a winner. I think the problem is that he doesn't know why it's going wrong. That's my.
He thinks he's doing everything right. He's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I think it's like he just doesn't.
I'm calling good plays.
It's like, oh, it's like an unlucky year. We got some bad breaks or whatever. Like there's obviously something systematic with
just some execution errors. I think that's what he said. Some guys aren't executing.
Yeah. There's clearly something systematic with the program that's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like every game there's a 15-yard penalty called against you.
And no one's ever benched. No one's ever.
No.
I mean, that kid from UCLA, he didn't play the game before, right? Because he did something wrong.
Which one?
Josh Kelly.
Oh, the running back?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
If I recall correctly.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought I read that somewhere in one of the tweets.
But you know what, Michael?
What?
When you're the type of guy that lets a player's dad run you over, then maybe you're not fit.
Unfortunately, the dad was right.
He was right, but the thing is like, A, he shouldn't have been right, and B, you shouldn't let him run you over.
And Michael Pittman's the best player on the team right now.
He is the best player on the team. So the dad was right. So the dad shouldn't have to do it. And even if he did do it, like Clay Helton should stand his ground. It's like, no, you're not going to tell me what to do.
Like, no, I trust Jalen Green. Consistently dropping balls.
Yes.
No, he'll turn it around. He's a senior leader.
I mean, what kind of message does that send?
Probably the one that everyone's receiving, that Clay Helton's a pushover.
Right. And not just that the kid's dad did it, is that he was right. Like, you're not supposed to be right. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah, it's like this is supposed to be
say,
a failure.
The coach is supposed to say, like, look, I'm the coach. Like, you are a parent. I understand you care about your kid, but like, this is what I do for my living.
I put the best players out there.
Some kid's parent is like, hey, you need to play my kid. He's the best player. And then he is. And I just don't,
I'm just worried about JT Daniels. I feel like he's getting a lot of that. He's getting the reverse of the Michael Pittman treatment. You should be playing. And like, oh, you should be playing.
Yeah.
I feel like people think Clay Helton's a bad talent evaluator and think he shouldn't be playing. And this is hurting the confidence.
You never quite know with a young kid like that. He's supposed to be in high school, Mike. I don't know.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
He's supposed to be in high school.
He reclassified to go to college early.
Yeah. So So, what percentage chance do you give USC to win this week? Don't say 0 because that's
no. I mean, we play to win the games. As
Okay.
Arizona State head coach Herm Edwards would tell you. 15, 20?
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be close at one point. At one point, it's gonna be close, and I think it'll be like last year, where though it was a boat race in the end, about halfway. I think it was like halfway through the second quarter is when it really got out of hand.
Yeah.
Like you could oh, there'll be an interception. And then Notre Dame will score like 2 quick touchdowns. You're like, that's it. Game's out of hand now. Whereas it'll always be in striking distance for a while. Like, oh well, just play a little tougher here. They catch a break here. Maybe get a field goal, get some points there. Like they're chipping away. And then,
if Notre Dame was playing any team other than USC, I would have no concern.
No concern.
Like if it was the same team but just had a different name, I would have no concern. Like USC can't run.
No, they can't.
And
I mean, they're going to kill them. Notre Dame's going to kill
USC. They can be an explosive passing team, but Notre Dame is second in passing efficiency defense.
Yeah, there's some interceptions up for grabs.
They have a great defensive line. USC has a bad offensive line. They have a freshman quarterback. Like they can hit big plays. Notre Dame doesn't give up big plays. I can't see them scoring more than 3 touchdowns, and I can see Notre Dame's offense scoring 5 or 6 touchdowns.
And if we know USC, they may not score the touchdowns in the second half. So
that's the other thing is like even if USC
they could be winning at halftime,
and
I still think they might lose.
Adjustments are they going to make?
They don't make adjustments.
So. We know Notre Dame can. Notre Dame, in order for them to lose, like they have to play a way that they just haven't played all year. Like it has to be just a poop bed.
Everything has to go wrong.
And maybe there's a 20% chance of it, right? It could happen. It could. But, I mean,
didn't that already happen against like Nevada or who did they play earlier in the season? Ball State?
Oh, Ball State and then Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Right. Like they already did that thing. And then against Pitt, same thing. Pitt's actually a pretty good team, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, everything went they couldn't catch a break.
Right. And they end up winning. I just, the thing about Notre Dame is like this year as opposed to like even last year or in 2012. In 2012 and last year, like if you take away the running game, then you have a big chance. This year, you take away the running game, it's like, okay, we'll beat you by 20 some other way.
Don't worry, my quarterback doesn't miss.
Yeah, like it's no big deal. I mean, they couldn't run the ball early.
You're 2 defensive backs because everyone else is hurt. Try to keep up.
Yeah, like they couldn't run the ball early against Syracuse. They moved the ball down the field. The same thing against Northwestern. They couldn't move the ball. They couldn't run the ball at all. Move the ball up and down the field. So,
no, I think this is going to be bad. This is going to be, and the team may have checked out.
Yeah,
this is another problem.
Well, Michael, when you're under 20% percentile against a team like UCLA, that doesn't bode well.
No, it doesn't. It is senior day, I guess, because it's the last home game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Yeah, there's going to be like 17 USC fans at this game.
Oh man! By the way, that attendance at the Rose Bowl was embarrassing for the city of Los Angeles. There were so many empty seats. If you didn't watch the game,
I did see it.
It was bad.
Well, the two teams had a combined, what was it?
Seven wins.
7-17 record.
Whew. Shootout. it's like Chiefs Rams tomorrow.
No, 7-13 record. Sorry.
Okay.
Right, because 5-5 and 2-8, so 7-13. That's tight.
Oof. This is bad football. This is bad football all the way around.
Well, you saw the line come out.
It's at 10 now, right?
I think it's at 10 now.
Came out. It started at 8.5. Now it's at 10. The question is, what's the number you'd have to give me right now to take it? 16?
Well, I told Timmy Boy, I was like, a score like 38-21 sounds pretty tasty.
So what's that? 17?
17. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think 16.5.
I mean, I think you're getting name recognition on USC. It's a rivalry game. Notre Dame fans are fatalists. So I think the public money that you probably expect here is off the table because they all think they're going to lose.
We are fatalists. That's true.
Yeah.
Like, I am very terrified.
You've been terrified all year of this moment.
I know. I have been.
And the losing only makes you more terrified.
Yes.
I think that's the real problem. If USC was like 8-4 or 8-3, whatever, it's like, oh, this is a lock. This is a lock of a win.
Right.
But now that they're terrible and they can't do anything right, it's like, oh, this could be their puncher's chance.
This could be. That'd be so sad, Michael.
Like, this is their moment.
Oh, I'd be so sad.
I mean, this isn't their moment. Don't worry. Or a revenge game for last year. It's not a thing.
Okay.
Everyone just wants to go home. Everyone's sick of the season and just wants to go home. There'll be more Notre Dame fans in the stadium than USC fans.
Oh, Michael. Please let it happen.
This is over. The season's over for the Trojans. I can start working on my awards. I got months to work on my Trojan awards.
It's going to be hard to give out, Michael.
I mean, that's a great point.
Just give them all to Michael Pittman.
He had a good tackle once. He plays pretty good special teams, too.
He does.
I think that's where Devin Williams, and whoever blocked the punt, that's what they were about. Michael Pittman's he's a player, man. He's a hustler. I'm just so upset. I'm just so upset. It's just so awful. It's hard to watch is the worst part.
Well, look, Michael, I mean, like I said, 2 years ago, I was in your spot, and now we're close to the pinnacle. So these things can turn quickly, especially with the kind of roster that you have.
Didn't some recruits pick Notre Dame over USC over the weekend?
This Hawaiian kid.
But still.
I mean, he's like a 3-star.
Oh, okay.
USC doesn't do that. No.
I mean, they may need him at this point, but
they might. But I'm just saying.
That's true. USC doesn't need 3 stars.
Yeah.
No. 5s and 4s only.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here.
All right, it's been a pleasure. It's rivalry week.
Maybe we should do another one, Michael.
I was gonna suggest it, but I didn't want to put it out there because.
Let's try to do it.
Now we have to do it. All right, it is Thanksgiving, so we have some free time.
Yeah.
So we'll have news. All right. Well, we'll commit on here because we missed one last week. So we owe the people a podcast.
Yes.
All right. So we'll do a pregame. We'll tell you who's injured, who's hurt, what we expect, what the scuttlebutt is on the internet. I always like doing the pregame pods. It's when you're full of hope,
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe just like we did with Ian Book, like, oh, X person, they're just not going to play.
I know, right?
How sad.
JC Daniels out.
Yeah, or that.
All right. Well, all right, let's do that. We've got a pod coming later in Thanksgiving week. With your pie, you'll get a nice pregame USC Notre Dame warm-up, the best intersectional rivalry in college football. Follow Greg on Twitter Follow Greg at uhnd.com. He writes all the articles. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to the podcast and fight on.
Go Irish.